Guess who's back? Yes, sir, it's Thunderbolt, finally back. Okay, and this is a sequel to the Dragon Ball Power Scale video that I made, the Saiyan Saga one. I encourage every one of you to watch it. The reason why I'm doing this is because I don't believe in the guidebooks anymore, so I want to do things my own way to figure out what the actual numbers are, right? Because it's been so long since the guidebooks came out, and a lot of things that are mentioned in the guidebooks are now either irrelevant or retcons. They had some stupid things that didn't make sense. So I was like, you know what? Screw the guidebooks, let's do it ourselves. Fine, I'll do it myself. Alright, so here we have the Saiyan Saga final base power levels in front of you right now. Take a good look at them, alright? And these are the Saiyan Saga top 5. Okay, so grade 8 Vegeta was the strongest in Saiyan Saga. Now, without further ado, I introduce you to Dragon Ball Z Power Scale Manga Only Part 2, the Frieza Saga. So we begin with Gohan and Krillin on Namek showing their powers off to Frieza, Zarbon and Dodoria, and the scouter says that the powers are 1500. So in 1 month, it took them 1 month to travel from Earth to Namek, and in that 1 month they did a lot of mental training on the spaceship, probably a bit of physical training as well, I don't know. But remember guys, mental training is very important, okay, just letting you know. And it was mentioned in the manga that they were doing mental image training against each other and their powers went up. It makes sense that Krillin's went up from 981 to 1500 because Krillin has better ki control than Gohan, because Gohan is a newbie, so Gohan did not grow as fast. But Gohan still has a lot of potential, so he was more or less there, and both of them had a power level of 1500 in the beginning of the Namek Saga. So can we confidently state that mental image training is 1.5 times per month? I doubt it. It sounds like way too much. Okay, so maybe it's not a multiplier, maybe it's just an addition, like your power just keeps increasing by 1 every, I don't know, few minutes or few hours or something. But let's not go into that. Okay, so Vegeta was 24,000 when he was fighting Kui, and Zarbon and Dodoria are below 24,000 because Zarbon is saying, are you saying that his power level has surpassed even our own? So Vegeta is definitely stronger than Zarbon and Dodoria over here. And you can see that I put Zarbon base because Zarbon has a transformation that he doesn't reveal to anyone. So Zenkai boost multiplier, right? So Vegeta was 18,000 in the Saiyan Saga and he was heavily damaged. He got a Zenkai boost of 1.3 times. So we're just gonna, as of right now, keep 1.3 times as the Zenkai boost multiplier. Moving on. Now here's what I would like to call the Dodoria problem. It is very hard to figure out what Zarbon and Dodoria's power levels are. Mainly Dodoria, to be honest, because once you figure out Dodoria's, then you know what Zarbon's is. So I call it the Dodoria problem, okay? So we know that Dodoria and Zarbon are both in between 18,000 and 24,000. So this is the one place where I don't think domination multipliers help us that much. Because if Dodoria is 1.25 times stronger than 18,000, so that means his power level is 22,500. If Dodoria is 1.5 times stronger than 18,000, then his power level is 27,000. And Vegeta cannot tank Dodoria's attacks. So because Vegeta is dodging all his attacks. So Vegeta is not 2 times stronger than Dodoria. And Vegeta dominated Dodoria. It was clear domination. Dodoria couldn't do much. So Vegeta should be 1.75 times Dodoria. But if Dodoria really is 22,500, 1.75 times that is 39,375. That is clearly higher than 24,000. We know that Vegeta is 24,000. So let's just say that Vegeta is 1.5 times Dodoria, but that still makes his power 33,000, right? 750, which is also not possible. We need to find a number that is below 24,000. So is Vegeta only 1.25 times Dodoria? Nope. That still makes his power 28,000. It's not 24,000. So we know for sure that Dodoria then is definitely weaker than 22,500 because we are applying the domination multipliers to 22,500, which is not possible. Which means Dodoria was stronger than Saiyan Saga Vegeta, but he could not overwhelm him because the domination multipliers say that 1.25 starts to overwhelm. So Dodoria's power level is greater than 80,000, but it is not greater than 22,500. Yeah, there we go. It's greater than 18,000 and not greater than 22,500. Daisen Shu states that his power is 22,000, but if you use domination multipliers, multiply that by 1.25, you find out that Vegeta has to be at least 27,000, which is still not possible. So since Vegeta has a power level of 24,000, if he really is 1.75 times stronger than Dodoria, which he should be, then Dodoria's power level would be 13,000, which is not possible because that is below 18,000. If Vegeta is 1.5 times stronger than Dodoria, then Dodoria would be 16,000. That is still less than Saiyan Saga Vegeta. Finally, if Vegeta is 1.25 times stronger than Dodoria, then Dodoria would be 19,200, and this is the only acceptable number I can give Dodoria. It perfectly fits in between 18,000 and 22,500. So my headcanon is that Vegeta is 1.25 times stronger than Dodoria, but Dodoria was doubtful of the scouter and not as skilled a fighter as Vegeta, so Vegeta was able to whoop his ass. Conclusion, Dodoria's power level is 19,200. And the Daizenshu states that Zarbon had 1000 more power than Dodoria, so I have no choice but to give Zarbon a power level of 20,200 because he has a transformation as well, and Vegeta beat him almost as easily as he beat Dodoria. So Dodoria is 19,200, Zarbon is 20,200. We know that at the end of this fight, Zarbon transformed and beat up Vegeta. He did not almost kill him or anything, but he wounded him really badly. And then Vegeta was put into the healing tank. So let's give Vegeta another 1.3 times boost for the Zenkai boost multiplier. So Vegeta, after getting his Zenkai, is 24,000 into 1.3. So Vegeta's power level now is 31,200. So what is the power level of second form Zarbon? So we can see here that Vegeta is only 1.25 times stronger than Zarbon. He was just starting to overwhelm him. He's taking damage as well, right? And they're basically both hitting each other, but Vegeta still managed to win in the end. So I'm gonna say that Vegeta was only 1.25 times stronger than Zarbon. So if you divide 1.25 by 31,200, which is Vegeta's power level, you get 24,960. So we know that second form Zarbon's power level is 24,960. Finally, Krillin and Gohan go to Guru where they get their potential unlocked, and their powers go from 1,500 to 10,000, which is a 6.7 times power boost. So it's kind of interesting that both their powers went up exactly the same, even though Gohan has more potential, so technically Gohan's power should be above 10,000, right? But the scouters say that their powers are 10,000. I know we should not rely on the scouters, but we are still going by the numbers. Okay, both went up by 6.7 times. So is Guru's potential unlock really just a normal exact power up? Is it nothing special? We'll find out later, okay? So as of right now, the Zenkai multiplier seems to be consistent. We have given Vegeta a Zenkai of 1.3 times twice now, right? Because here you can see, hey look, Vegeta's power level just shot up close to 30,000. And what did we find out Vegeta's power level was? Boom, 31,200. That's pretty close to 30,000. So Zenkai multiplier is consistent so far. Okay, it's time to rely on the domination multipliers again, because this is the only way we'll find out what the Ginyu Force's power levels are, starting with Recoome. So you can see here that Vegeta did a key attack on Recoome, and Recoome took it like a champ. He did not tank it because you can see that he's clearly injured, right? But was Recoome dominating Vegeta? No, you can see here that Recoome was not dominating Vegeta, okay? So that's why I think that it was easy for Recoome to overwhelm Vegeta. So Recoome was 1.5 times stronger than Vegeta. Right here you can see he's 1.5 times stronger than Vegeta's Ki Blast. Ki Blasts have a multiplier of 1.4 times. You can see the 1.4 here. That's because the weakest Ki Blast that we saw in the Saiyan Saga was Gohan's Masenko, which was 1.4 times. So you can see here that Vegeta's key attack is his power level 31,200 into 1.4, which is the multiplier for Ki Blast, which equals to 43,680. Recoome is 1.5 times stronger than that. So 43,680 into 1.5 gives Recoome a power level of 65,520. Then Goku arrives on Namek, where he suppressed his power to 50,000, but we know that his power level is much higher than that. Moving on to Jeice and Berter. Jeice and Berter have the exact same power level as Recoome because Krillin states that they have the same amount of ki as the Recoome guy. So Jeice and Berter are also at 65,520. The only reason why these guys are able to beat the Ginyu Force is because 1. Jeice and Berter rely more on speed, and Recoome has a tough body, so he's physically stronger, but his power level is 65,520. Does that make sense? I told you in the last video that power levels, while they do improve your speed and your strength, it doesn't increase it by that much. Speed and strength don't rely on increase in power level. They are their own separate things. So speed and strength cannot necessarily be affected by your power level. Okay, moving on. Ginyu states that Goku's power level cannot be higher than 85,000, and Goku goes Kaioken times 2 and reaches 180,000. So we know it's Kaioken times 2 because 180,000 divided by 2 is 90,000, right? So if you divide 180 by 3, if he was using Kaioken times 3, then his power level would only be 60,000, which is not possible because 50,000 was suppressed, right? So Goku is at 90,000, and Jai states that Ginyu is at 120,000. Then when Nail and Frieza were fighting, Frieza found out that Nail's power level is 42,000. First form Frieza is 530,000. Now after fighting the Ginyu first, Goku gives Krillin, Gohan and Vegeta a Senzu Bean. So Gohan and Vegeta should get their Zenkai boosts, right? So if Vegeta got a Zenkai boost, his power level should be multiplied by 1.3, which gives him a power level of 40,560, and he is fighting Jaice pretty evenly because Jaice is what, 65,000, right? So it makes sense in this moment, right? But then he whoops the floor with Jaice and just blasts him into oblivion, and that should not be possible. So that's why I added the question mark, because I was like, is it really 1.3 times? Because he does fight Frieza after this and he gets a lot stronger. And I was right, because when he's locking arms with Frieza, Frieza doesn't sweat, okay? Frieza is just normal, he's just chill. Vegeta is really using a lot of energy, but Vegeta raised his ki so much that the scouter broke, okay? The scouter broke, and we know that that scouter is possible of analyzing a power level of 180,000 because Kaioken times 2 Goku was 180,000 and Ginyu was able to scan that without breaking the scouter. So we know that Vegeta is greater than 180,000. What the fuck? Like, actually, what the hell is going on? So I have given Vegeta a power level of 200,000 here because I would assume that the new model Scouter can only take up to 200,000 until it breaks, okay? This is as much of a low ball as possible. I could give him 190,000, but then it just doesn't sound right. 200,000 is fine. Daizenshu says that his power level is 250,000. I don't believe that. I don't think that's possible. So Vegeta is 200,000. So if Vegeta went from 31,200 to 200,000, that makes a Zenkai boost multiplier 6.4 times. So now we know that Zenkai boosts can range between 1.3 times and 6.4 times. And there are two possibilities. One, either it has to do with how much damage you take, right? Or two, it has to do with how much of a stressful situation you are in. As in, how much your brain is telling you that you are fucked. And I think it's the latter. Like in the beginning, I thought there was a former. I thought that it depends on how much damage you've taken. But with all the calculations that I found out in the future, I believe it is the latter. It's a mental thing. It's how stressed you are and how much your brain believes that you are screwed. That much of a Zenkai boost you get. You'll see that in the future. So we know that second form Frieza is 1 million. We finally reached the millions. And take a look at this now. This is after second form Frieza impaled Krillin. Gohan got angry, right? He got his rage boost. And then he punched Frieza a little bit and barraged him with ki blasts, which means Gohan got like an insane Zenkai boost because his power level was just 10,000, right? And take a look at what Vegeta says here. He says, incredible, when the kid loses control, he can draw that much power, okay? So which means his rage boost also increased. So not only did Gohan get like a huge Zenkai boost, he also got like a huge rage boost on top of that, right? But we know that the rage boost is only 1.85 times, and we found out that the Zenkai boost can only go up to 6.4 times. I mean, it can go higher, I guess, hypothetically, but as of right now, that the confirmed number that we know of is 6.4 times. So second form Frieza could not tank Enrage Zenkai Gohan's ki blast. You can see it over here that it hurt him. He couldn't tank it. and the Ki Blast is 1.4 times. Therefore, second form Frieza is 1.75 times Enraged Zenkai Gohan times 1.4 for the Ki Blast. So 1.75 into 1.4 is 2.45. 2.45 into Enraged Zenkai Gohan is 1 million, which was second form Frieza's power. Enraged Zenkai Gohan is then 408 million, 163. So now we got to find out the Zenkai boost multiplier and the Rage boost multiplier. Let's give Gohan the same Zenkai boost as Vegeta of 6.4. Okay, so 6.4 times Enraged Gohan is 408 million. So Enraged Gohan becomes 63,775. If you divide that by Gohan's original 10,000, that means that Gohan got a Rage boost of 6.4 or 6.5 times. His Rage boost used to be 1.85. And that has now gone up to 6.4 or 6.5 times. So the new Rage boost multiplier is 6.5. To sum it up, Guru really does have a potential boost power, which not only boosted Gohan's base power, but also his Rage boost, as the Rage is a part of his true potential. So from now on, whenever we have to give Gohan a Rage boost, it is 6.5 times. It's not 1.85 times anymore. The new Rage boost multiplier is 6.5 times. So doing the math, Gohan's power after getting a Zenkai boost from the fight with Riku is 64,000. But then second form Frieza beat the crap out of Gohan, and then Dende healed him. So he got another Zenkai boost. So then I was wondering, what multiplier of the Zenkai boost should I give him? Because now it ranges from between 1.3 times to 6.4 times, right? So I'm wondering what multiplier should I give him? And then I decided to lowball it as much as possible. I decided to give him the lowest, which is 1.3 times. So 64,000 times 1.3 is 83,200. And remember my theory of it's about mentally how fucked you think you are? Gohan was still undergoing the Rage boost. Mentally, Gohan was not thinking that he's fucked at all. Mentally, Gohan was just pure anger. So 1.3 times works, because if Gohan really was scared, then it means that his Zenkai boost would have been higher. But since he was not scared at all, it's the lowest. So 1.3 times. So Gohan's power level is 83,200. And yeah, this confirms that hybrid Saiyans also have Zenkai boosts, because Vegeta literally confirms it. Okay, here we are. Finally, Piccolo, the Big Daddy. We're going to figure out his fusion multiplier, and we're going to figure out what his power levels are. So, after training for 6 months on King Kai's world, Goku went from 406 to 8,000, which was a 19.2 times boost. So we know that 180 days on King Kai's world equals 19.2, right? 6 days equals 0.65, which is not possible because that actually lowers the power level. It has to be above 1. So let's give Piccolo a 1.25 times boost, which is the lowest boost you can give him. So Piccolo is 1220 in the Saiyan Saga. Multiply that by 1.25 makes his power level 1525. We know that Nail is 42,000. And Piccolo was fighting second form Frieza with his weighted clothes on. Keep that in mind. It was pretty clear in the manga that second form Frieza is definitely 1.75 times stronger than weighted Fuse Piccolo's Ki attack. Because you can see here, Piccolo did the Ki attack, and then Frieza blocked it. Like, Frieza took it like a champ. He couldn't tank it, but he definitely took it really well. And then he messed up Piccolo. See, after Piccolo beats him up a little bit, you can see him smile. He was holding back, and then he demolishes Piccolo. Vegeta also has a panel where he says something along the lines of, how much power is that bastard holding back, or something. So yeah, so we know that second form Frieza was holding back, and this is what Piccolo ended up looking like afterwards. So we know that second form Frieza is definitely 1.75 times stronger than weighted Fuse Piccolo's Ki attack. So we take Fuse Piccolo and we multiply his power level by 1.4 for the Ki Blast. Then we multiply it by 1.75 because second form Frieza is that much stronger than him. Then we divide that whole number by 1.25 and we get Frieza's 1 million of second form. So Fuse Piccolo then comes out to be 510,204.1. I did the math. I used a calculator, so I know the numbers are correct. So to figure out the fusion multiplier, A times B will not work because 42,000 of Nail and 1,525 of Piccolo it comes out to be a number which is way higher than 510,000. Okay, way higher. So let's try a plus b into some number. So a plus b, which is 42,000 plus 1,525, comes out to be 43,525. And I found out that 11.7 is the only number which you can put to get the result as close to Fuse Piccolo's power level as possible. So, so 43,525 into 11.7 equals to 509,242.5. So I'm going to highball 11.7 to 12 for two reasons. Reason number one being that it makes sense because Piccolo spent the entire day flying all the way across the planet trying to reach Gohan and the others, so he drained some ki there. And reason number two, because a whole number fits the formula much better. So Namekian fusion, we've confirmed, is a plus b times 12, and that is Piccolo's power level, 522,000. If you do 43,525 into 12, you come out with this. So this is Piccolo's power level, 522,300. Ooh, there we go. Okay, third form Frieza. So you can see here that Gohan became enraged again when Frieza whooped Piccolo's ass, and he launched a full power ki attack. But Frieza took it like a champ. He couldn't tank it because he had to get out of the way and he was scared to death. So he cannot be 2 times stronger than that ki blast, but he definitely was 1.75 times stronger. So third form Frieza equals to Gohan's 83,200, okay, into 2.2. So this is the multiplier that I've given a full power attack from Gohan, because full power definitely has to be higher than 1.4, and 2.2 is the second closest multiplier to 1.4. So 83,200 into 2.2 into 1.75, because Frieza is 1.75 times stronger, into Gohan's new rage boost of 6.5 comes out to be 2,082,080, which is third form Frieza's power level. Now look at the Frieza trend. I call this the Frieza trend. So from first form to second form to third form, Frieza went from 530,000 to 1 million to 2 million. So Frieza is getting an approximately 2 times boost each time he transforms. So he gets 2 times stronger each transformation, which means final form Frieza should also be a 2 times multiplier on top of this. So to get the most accurate reading, I took Frieza's 530 into 2 the second form, into 2 for the third form, and into 2 for the final form, which means 530,000 into 8, which is 4.2 million, 4,240,000. And this is suppressed final form Frieza, because he powers up way more after this as well, so he is suppressed. And I am going to boldly state here that Frieza, when he was suppressed, was only using 18.25% of his full power here. You may be wondering why I am stating that this power is only 18.25 of his full power. So we know that he's not at his full power, but by how much? What is the exact percentage that Frieza is at? Well, I have done all the maths and I can tell you it's 18.25. Okay, remember 18.25, I will get back to that in a bit. Everything is going to make sense. So how can we be sure that 4,240,000 really is final form Frieza's suppressed power? How can we be sure that it's the accurate number? Because we just multiplied by 2, right? It's just a headcanon, but did the math there as well. Take a look at this. Vegeta made Krillin almost kill him, and then Dende healed him, so Vegeta got a Zenkai boost. We have to give Vegeta another 6.4 times Zenkai boost here. I know he was not scared, but he was pretty stressed. He was like completely mind-boggled by Frieza's power. So I guess that's the explanation there. Regardless, we have to give him 6.4 times because Frieza is way too strong for Vegeta to do anything right now. Okay, so 6.4 times is the highest Zenkai boost. So we give him a 6.4 times Zenkai boost, which makes his power level go from 200,000 to 1,280,000. So now here Frieza is very angry at Vegeta, okay, because Vegeta is mocking him and making fun of him. So in his anger, Vegeta launches a very enraged ki blast. So now we know that emotions do have an effect on power level. Not as much as Gohan, but it does have an effect. So that's why over here I haven't given him a 1.4, I've given him a 2.2 because 2.2 is the next best thing, right? So 1.2 million into 2.2, the ki blast's power level comes out to be 2.8 million. If you take Frieza's power level as we reduce, the 4.2 million, and divide that by the Ki Blast power level, it comes out to be exactly 1.5. So Frieza is exactly 1.5 times stronger than Vegeta's angry Ki attack. And you can see it right here in this panel. Frieza is shocked when he sees that power, and he cannot block it, okay? He cannot tank it. He has to deflect it. He has to kick it out of the way, because right now he is suppressed. So he's at a lower power level. He knows that he's at risk of being hurt. So he has to kick it away. So he is not 1.75 times stronger. He is not 2 times stronger. He is 1.5 times stronger, and the numbers match perfectly. So we were bang on over here. This is exactly Frieza's suppressed power level. Okay, remember the 18.25. It is 18.25% of his full power. Finally, Goku arrives on the battlefield. And we know that Goku has to be higher than Piccolo, because Goku put up a fight with suppressed Frieza. So if Goku wants to be equal to Piccolo, he has to be 5.8 times stronger, because Goku's power level of 90,000 into 5.8 makes his power level equal to that of Piccolo's. But we know that Goku is much stronger than Piccolo. So instead of giving him a 5.8 boost to make him equal to Piccolo, we give him a 6.4 boost, right? So let's give Goku the max 6.4 Zenkai boost. So if you give Goku the 6.4 Zenkai boost, his power level comes out to be 576,000. Look at Piccolo, look at Goku. Piccolo is at 522,000, Goku is at 576,000. It's not much of a difference, but Goku is stronger. So 6.4 works. Theoretically, it should be higher, but this works, and the numbers add up. It all makes sense. So Goku was using Kaioken times 4 in short bursts to keep up with suppressed Frieza. I am saying this because there is no way Goku was swatting aside Frieza's punches with just a power level of 576,000. He has to be using Kaioken, and he has to be using a Kaioken which is not draining him that much. We know that he is capable of a Kaioken times 10 at this point because of the gravity training and all that. The highest Kaioken that Goku used in the Saiyan Saga was Kaioken times 4, and at this point Goku should be able to use it comfortably enough without it straining his body too much. And he's using it in short bursts, right? So whenever at the very instant that he has to attack or defend or dodge, he's using Kaioken. Only then. And Kaioken times 4 makes sense. Kaioken times 4 Goku has a power level of 2.3 million, okay, which makes Frieza 1.8 times stronger than him. 1.8 is very close to 1.75, and suppressed Frieza was not tanking Goku's attacks. He was taking damage, but he was completely and utterly demolishing him at the same time, because he even fought Goku without the use of his hands. So he was definitely higher than 1.75, less than 2 times. So suppressed Frieza was 1.8 times stronger than Goku. So Kaioken times 4 Goku makes sense. So Goku was using Kaioken in short bursts. And Goku said something similar to Ginyu as well. He told Ginyu that Kaioken times 2, Kaioken times 3 and 4 are ones that he uses in short bursts, but he can really take his power much higher. And we know that he can take it up to Kaioken times 10. But 2 to 4 are the ones that he can use in short bursts, and he uses them in short bursts during combat to improve without, it draining his body too much. So for Frieza to be exactly 1.8 times stronger than him, Frieza has to be 4.2 million. This is Frieza's exact power level. Everything makes sense. 4,240,000 has to be suppressed Frieza's power level. So you can see here that, Frieza is 1.8 times stronger. He's dominating Goku. And then suddenly Frieza's like, yo, wait, hold on a minute, you're holding back on me. And then Goku's like, yeah, but you're also holding back. So Frieza's like, okay, let's stop holding back. And Frieza's like, I estimate that half of my maximum power will suffice to grind you into cosmic dust. And this is when Frieza starts using half of his power and Goku starts using Kaioken times 10. And Frieza was still dominating Goku. So Frieza at half his power was dominating Kaioken times 10 Goku. And because Frieza is still dominating Goku, Goku is like, it looks like I have to push Kaioken to 20 times power, but I don't know if my body will be able to handle it. But if it's true that he's only using half of his full strength, I really don't have a choice. So finally, now I'm going to explain to you why I said that suppressed Frieza was only using 18.25% of his power. So let's go through it line by line. Kaioken times 10 Goku is 5.7 billion. You take his power level, you multiply it by 10. So from 576,000, he goes to 5.7 billion. 50% of Frieza is exactly 2 times stronger than Goku. If 50% of Frieza was 1.75 times stronger, his power level would have been 10 million. Because Kaioken times 10 Goku's 5.7 into 1.75 comes out to be 10,080,000. And if 50% Frieza was 10,080,000, that would put 100% Frieza at 20,160,000. But Goku decided to use Kaioken times 20 and launched a Kamehameha at Frieza. So Goku's power, which is 576 into 20 for the Kaioken, comes out to be 11.5 million, and you multiply that by 2.2 for the Kamehameha, you get 25.3 million. If Frieza's power level was at 20 million, this Kamehameha would have completely and utterly destroyed him way worse than what you can see over here. To block the Kamehameha, Frieza either used 100% of his power, because we can't see in the flash of light, he could have done that, or he used Ki, right? And we know that Goku could not handle the 20 times. He could only use it for an instant. He could only use it for the Kamehameha. So that's why the Kamehameha wasn't really launched for that long. It was only there for like a split second. It only touched Frieza for like a second, right? Either way, 25 million is much higher than 20 million. Now we know that Frieza's exact suppressed power, which is 4.2 million, is 20% that of the 20 million power level that is possible. But if this power level, 4.2 million, was 18.25%, like I said, then 100% Frieza would have been 23 million, which makes it much closer to the 25 million, which makes sense why Frieza was able to survive this. He went up to 100% and used a bit of Ki, or he did one of the two, and Goku did not handle 20 times. That's why he did not get that damaged. If he was at 20 million, he would have been more damaged than this. But since he's at 23 million, 18.25% is perfect. So Frieza, when he was suppressed, was exactly 18.25%. And this is very useful. So now that we know that 18.25% is perfect, and we knew that 4.2 million is also perfect, it means we have Frieza's perfect power level. 100% Frieza is 23,232,876. And this is nowhere close to what the Daizenshu said. The Daizenshu said it was 120 million. Are you crazy? You expect me to believe that Frieza went from 1 million in his second form to 120 million? Are you crazy? This makes so much more logical sense, and the numbers all add up. Everything is working. Weirdly, it's a lot of calculations. Okay, there is some headcanon to it, but the numbers are working, they're making sense. Frieza is 23 million. Alright, now we have approached the final fight. We are gonna figure out what the Super Saiyan multiplier is. And yes, the Daizenshu says it's 50 times, but I mean, our numbers have been so different. Let's see what multiplier we get. But before we do that, I want you all to take one good look at these numbers. Okay, exact power levels right here. 18.25% of Frieza was 4.2 million. 100% of Frieza is 23 million. We knew that base Goku was 576,000, which is why Kaioken times 10 Goku was 5.7 million. Correct? Let's move on to the Super Saiyan. We know that Super Saiyan Goku is 1.25 times stronger than 100% of Frieza. You can see here in the images that they are fighting almost on par, but Goku still had the advantage. And Goku did finally end up beating Frieza. So Goku is 1.25 times stronger. Also, in the Daizenshu, Frieza's power level is 120 million and Super Saiyan Goku's power level is 150 million. So even according to the Daizenshu, Super Saiyan Goku was 1.25 times stronger than 100% Frieza, because 15 divided by 12 is 1.25. So yeah, we know that Super Saiyan Goku is 1.25 times stronger than 100% Frieza, even according to our own numbers. So we take Frieza's full power, which is the 23.2 million, we multiply that by 1.25 times. Super Saiyan Goku has a power level of 29,041,095. So now that we have his power level, all we have to do is divide this by Goku's base power to get the multiplier. 29 million divided by 576,000 comes out to be exactly 50.4 times. Super Saiyan really is 50 times base. The Super Saiyan multiplier is 50 times. Daizenshu, you got that one right. You got that one bang on. All your numbers have been whack. Okay, so far, all of them. I can proudly say that the only two things for sure I know that the Daizenshu got right were the fact that Super Saiyan Goku was 1.25 times stronger than full power Frieza, and that Super Saiyan's multiplier is 50 times base. There you have it, folks. Alright, it's time to look at the Frieza Saga final base power levels. Alright, base powers. We are not including transformations. Coming in first place, we have Frieza with a power level of 23.2 million. The reason why I have put 100% final form Frieza here is because Frieza's final form is actually his base. His power was so large that he had to restrict it. That's why he created the other transformations to restrict his power. So his base power actually is 23.2 million. In second place, we have Vegeta with 1.28 million, and in third place, we have Goku with 576,000. So if you look at only the base powers, Vegeta was still stronger than Goku. Then in fourth place, we have Piccolo with 522,300. I'm including Fusion Piccolo because Nail basically told Piccolo that the conscience is going to be his no matter what. Nail will not be in his brain. Okay, the whole part of the fusion was just to give Piccolo a power up. So I'm going to just call him Piccolo, right? So Piccolo at 522,300, Ginyu at 120,000, Gohan at 80,200, 6th place. 7th place we have Riku, Umberto and Jice at 65,520. 8th place we have Nail at 42,000. 9th place Zarbon at 20,200. 10th place Midoriya at 19,200. 11th place Kui at 18,000. 12th place Krillin at 10,000. We know that Guldo was weaker than Krillin. So Guldo is at 13th place. We were never able to determine his actual power level, but we know that he's stronger than the Namekians at 14th place. Oh, and shout out to those two Frieza Force soldiers that got their ass whooped by Krillin and Gohan. Those guys definitely had a power level of less than 1,500. And looking at the Frieza Saga top 5, we have first place Super Saiyan Goku with a 29 million power level. 100% Frieza with a 23.2 million power level. Vegeta at 1.28 million power level. Piccolo at 522,300 and Ginyu at 120,000. There you have it. That concludes the power scale for the Frieza Saga. And I can't believe how different my numbers were to the Daizenshu. I'm so glad I am not listening to the Daizenshu. I'm doing my own thing and it is making so much sense to me in my own head. And you may or may not agree with me, but you can't, I mean, the numbers don't lie. The numbers are actually working out in our favor. Frieza was never 120 million, okay? He was 23.2 million. And nobody is gonna change my mind on that. But yes, Super Saiyan is 50 times base. And I'm sorry this video came out much later. I was quite busy, and I still am a little busy, but I will start work on the Cell Saga right away. And now we really are in unknown territory with the Cell Saga because the Frieza Saga was the last time anyone ever mentioned power levels. So everything from now on is going to be headcanon. But just like how I did for these two arcs, I'm going to use the numbers that make the most sense, and let's just see what I get. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, please subscribe. Okay, I need all the motivation for this. This is a huge task, but I'm gonna do it because I am enjoying it and I want to share my findings with all of you. So thank you so much for watching.